So let us learn how to convert from base 10 into other bases. This means we can convert from base 10 to base 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 16, and other bases. We have an example that says convert 5 in base 10 into a base 2 number. So how do we go about this? Converting from base 10 to other bases simply involves division. It involves division and then taking note of the remainders while dividing. To understand this better, let us solve this example. Convert 5 in base 10 to base 2. So we are going to make use of the long division method. So we are going to have 5, the number we are dividing on this side, and then the new base we are converting to is the number we are going to use to divide that 5. So we are going to divide 5 by 2. Now, 5 divided by 2 is 2 times it will go, remaining 1. Now we are going to divide again this 2 by 2. So if you divide by 2 again, 2 is going to divide 2 once and it's remaining 0. But we still have a remainder here, and we are going to divide one more time. The reason we are dividing is we are going to keep dividing until this number turns to 0. So this number turns to 0 once it becomes smaller than the base we are using to divide it. So since 1 is smaller than 2, it becomes 0, remainder this 1. So in converting from base 10 to other bases, we take note of the remainders. And we take note of them using the bottom-up method, which means we take note of them from the last number, we move upwards to the first number. So in this case, if we write the remainders from the last number to the up to the first number, we are going to have 1, 0, 1 in base 2. And that's our final answer. It means that 5 in base 10 is equal to 101 in base 2. When we solve more examples, you are going to understand it better. So now let us solve another example. We are to convert 67 in base 10 to a base 8. What do we do? As I've said, we take note of, or we make use of long division methods. So we are going to divide this 67 by our new base, 8. So 67 is going to be divided by 8, and we always take note of the remainders. So 67 divided by 8 is going to go into it 8 times, because 8 times 8 is 64. So there's going to be a remainder of 3. We are also going to divide this 8 again. So 8 divided by 8 is 1, remaining 0. And we are going to divide this one more time. And 1 divided by 8 is going to be 0, because it cannot go, remaining this 1. So we are going to take our answers from the bottom upwards, and this becomes 103 in base 8. So it means that 67 in base 10 is equal to 103 in base 8. Let us take another example. Now let us convert 383 in base 10 into base 5. How do we go about it? It's simply the same thing, long division method, and take note of the remainders. So 383, we are going to divide it by the new base, which is 5. So 383 divided by 5 is going to give us 76, because 5 times 76 is 380. So there's going to be a remainder of 3. We are going to divide again. 76 divided by 5 is 15, because 15 times 5 is 75. So there's a remainder of 1. And then we are going to divide again. We keep dividing until we have 0. So we are going to divide 15, and that gives us 3, remainder 0. And then we'll divide again. We notice that 3 cannot divide 5, because 5 is bigger. So here we are now going to have 0, because it cannot divide. Remainder, the number we are not able to divide, which is 3. So we take our answer from the bottom up, and we have 3013 in base 5, our new base. So it means that 383 in base 10 is equal to 3013 in base 5. We take another example. Now we have a number 5624 in base 10. We are told to convert it to base 16. How do we go about it? Again, we divide and take note of the remainders. So 5624 is going to be divided by the new base, which is 16. So when you divide 5624 divided by 16, you are going to have 351 with a remainder of 8. We keep dividing until we get to 0. So 351 divided by 16 is going to give us 21, remainder 15. But if you remember, for hexadecimals, we do not represent numbers 10 to 15 as they are. Instead, we represent them with letters. A represents 10, B represents 11, C represents 12, and so on. So 15 is actually represented by the letter F. I have taken care of this and explained this in my first video on number basis. So you want to check it out in case you do not understand. So we have 21 remainder F. This F stands for 15. All right. Now we are going to divide this number again, but we divide it by 16. 16 can go into 21 once with a remainder of 5. And we are finally going to divide this so we can have 0 here. So 1 divided by 16 will be 0, remainder 1. So we take our answers from bottom up. It therefore means that 5624 in base 10 is the same thing as from bottom up 1, 5, F8 in base 16. So that is it. When converting from base 10 to any other base, the simple trick is to divide that base 10 number by your new base. After dividing that base 10 number by your new base, take note of the remainders and take them from the bottom to the top, and that gives you your answer. So can you try some examples? I'm going to give you some examples that you solve and leave your answers in the comment sections to see how well you understand what we've taught. So can you try this? First, convert 318 in base 10 to base 3 using the same method I've just taught. And also, convert 477 in base 10 to base 6. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.